We're here at Fernview Group Campground here at Willamette National Forest here in Central Oregon. It's $200 for 11 sites, 75 person capacity. Let's go check out the campsites. We're here at Fernview Group Campground here in Willamette National Forest, Central Oregon. Kind of an interesting situation. This used to be a normal campground. They converted it into a group campground. So it's got 11 sites converted into one super group campground, capacity 75 people, $200 a night, bookable at recreation.gov. So it's gonna look like it's a normal campground with different individual sites, but it's actually one massive collective group, good for like a church group, Boy Scouts, family reunion, whatever it is. So here is site one, again, group. So this is not an individual campground, but there's 11 sites here. And at recreation.gov, they quote a capacity of 75 people. So we will walk it, get a sense of what your value proposition is if you are the party that books Fernview Group Campground. Here is site two of your 11 group campground. There it is. And here's the old sign from back when it was an individual normal style campground before they converted to a group. There's a restroom. Kind of some community parking in the center. And here is site three. This one is going to be up against the edge overlooking South Santiam River. Be careful because I think it's a steep drop off. So if you got young kiddos or whatever, you always want to be mindful of such threats. Picnic table right there, very pretty, good shade. Fire pit. Ooh, even have some stairs. Now that is cool. Look at that, my friend. That is awesome. I didn't know such a thing existed over here. This is Fernview Group Campground. You got stairs going down to a better overlook of South Santiam River. And there's a money shot of South Santiam River. That's beautiful. There's the bridge we crossed to get over to the zone. And looks like there's a little trail that gets you even more South Santiam views. Very beautiful. Watching my step here because it's April and it's wet. You don't want to slip. Man, this is gorgeous. Looks like this is going to take us all the way down to shoreline. You pan back here. Let's give you the money shot. Look at that. Hello, South Santiam River. That is gorgeous. And let's see how far this goes, my friends. Yeah, keeps going down. I think I will stop here. It's got a little bit of a trickle going on, and then it gets you down to river shoreline. I probably would only do that if I'm very nimble and sure-footed, because you could really hurt yourself right here pretty darn easily. And look up there. Man, this is gorgeous. I would say this right here is your best shot. If it's me, I probably wouldn't try to go down there. Realistically, it's neat that it's there, but you didn't really get any better viewpoints and it gets more dangerous for less yield. I'd probably stop right here, and this is probably the money shot of this little zone. Oh, it's beautiful. Go back up these steps. I gotta say, it's a cool little surprise from site 3. You get to go down a very cool rustic staircase to a river wonderland zone. The colors of greens and blues are out of this world. This is pretty darn gorgeous. So here's our picnic table fire pit. It's like there is a little side trail to our next campsite, but we will approach that the other direction. This is, after all, a group zone, so $200. Obviously, everybody knows each other. Good for a church group, Boy Scouts, family reunion, maybe even corporate retreat. I don't know, whatever it is, big group of people. And here is 4. Got a picnic table fire pit straight ahead. The other side of this tree. Probably put your tent right over here. And see, 3 and 4 are right next to each other. Look at that. Since this is group camping, they assume you want to be close to your neighbors because those ones are right next to each other. And then you come over here, a little side network to your next neighbor over there. So they've created a little side network from site to site, presuming that you got a group dynamic. Everybody wants to be close to each other, which I think makes sense as a design presumption. Move on to the next one. That was 4. And we're coming up to 5. This is on the opposite side, on the non-river side. Big open flat area. This is good for somebody that might not be the most sure-footed. If ascents and descents are an issue, I would give them 5. Here's your fire pit, and they're right next to the restroom. So I would say 5 is a really good one if somebody is not the most sure-footed. It's flat, it's right next to the restroom. That's perfect for some people. That's exactly what they're looking for. So 5 is a really good one to remember. Keep in mind 5 for your group. And here's 6. Come down here. This was the one that had a little side trail from 3 and 4. And here is 6, overlooking South Santiam River. Picnic table, fire pit on the other side of it. Got to be careful because this is a steep precipice. But if you come and stand right here, you can look down and see South Santiam River. I wouldn't get too close because that could get dangerous real quick. But you got the ambiance, you got the soothing sound of a river that'll lull you to sleep at night. That'll be nice. So that's 6 of 11. Let's keep going. Let's not lose track of it. This is just a gorgeous wonderland. Let me stop here, pan up, and show you these trees. I mean, this is like a fairy tale wonderland, rainforest wonderland zone. I'm really digging it. It's got a good vibe. I'm personally a sucker for these like mossy mangled trees. Sometimes it gives you Dr. Seuss, sometimes Tim Burton, sometimes just fairy tale. Either way, it's cool. So let's move on to the next one. Here is 7 of 11 of our massive super group campground, $200 a night. Here's 7, park here. This is a good one. Picnic table, fire pit on the other side of it. I like the lot lines of it. It's one of those where it just feels good when you're walking up to it. Nice little table there. Again, overlooking the river, but you want to be careful. Yeah, you get a sense of the river. You don't have like a direct money shot, keeping it real, but you definitely can sense it. So picnic table, fire pit. You don't get a direct money shot of the river, but you can sense the river and you get that ambiance. You got a little side trail to your neighbor over here. Let's keep walking. It's a very wet, damp area. It's not a negative. It's just kind of an interesting, eclectic zone. That's why there's so many mangled trees. I mean, let me stop here when I walk right here and pull back. I mean, look at this. All these mangled rainforesty, mossy trees. Definitely a lot of character. Sets the vibe. It's because it's so damp. So that's why they call it a rainforest. Here's 8. A little side trail to our close trusty friend 7 over here. I like the feel of it, the feng shui. Got picnic table, fire pit. Put your tent to the right of the picnic table. It's your only flat spot, really. So this is cool. Looks like there's another side trail probably to the next one, which is probably 9. As far as the actual river itself, you can come down here a little bit, overlook it. I'd be careful because these are steep drop-offs. So, and yeah, here's your path to your friend 7. So 7 or 8 and 8 are kind of a really high quality cluster together, kind of in the heart of the campground. Do have your members of your party be careful on the edge because it's not like it's got railings. I mean, it's just like a steep drop off. So not something you want to mess around with, especially for the youngins. and be very careful at night with flashlights and stuff. Somebody going to the restroom, they don't go the wrong direction, and got to be careful of these things. Here's 9, and park here. Yeah, and here you are. You got a big flat area to put your tent, picnic table, fire pit around the corner. Again, here's your parking for 9. So here is site 9. I will remind you, you've got the highway across the way, so you'll hear some road noise, and you have some views of South Santiam down below. Again, be careful with the edge. Very beautiful. Some cool mangled trees adding a lot of character, particularly on 9. So 9's an interesting one. Coming around here back to our parking for our vehicle, which is right around the corner here. So 9's got pretty good privacy as far as the other campsites, but doesn't have the best privacy with the road across the way. And got a couple left and we are done. And there's 11 here. So here's site 10, tucked into this Willamette National Forest Wonderland zone. Here's our little post, picnic table, fire pit. Probably put your tent on the other side of the fire pit. You got river access down there. Here's where you could probably put your tent on the other side of the fire pit, picnic table. So that's 10. I don't know, 10's probably not my favorite. It's serviceable. You do have views of South Santiam River down below, but some of the other ones are a little bit more tucked around the corner, a little bit more special feeling, but 10's serviceable. I mean, these are all good. Here's 11. Last but not least, we got a bench. That's special if you have somebody who just kind of wants to sit. Got a built-out bench, and you can see the river from the bench. So that's a high-quality bench. Picnic table, fire pit. Yeah, I like this one. 11 might be the best, arguably. You got this high-quality bench. You got a particularly high-quality, probably the best view of South Santiam River from any of the 11 sites is this one, other than I think site 3 that had the stairs down to the lower viewpoint. But from the actual site itself, from the picnic table and the fire pit, I would argue that 11 right here is probably the highest quality. A really nice section of forest. It's kind of cut down here, and then you have this bench right here. So I'm digging 11. Last but not least right there. So I'll come back here and I'll look back down at 11. So this is 11 with the picnic table, the fire pit, the bench, and beautiful views of South Santiam River. So I think this is actually one of the highest quality, arguably the best view from your actual picnic table of all 11. So 3 had the stairs, which I particularly enjoyed. And let's keep coming down here. So if you continue past 11, it looks like this is going to give us a trail access. We've got the old Santiam wagon trail system through this zone to House Rock Falls, etc. So it's like you come this way, and I would certainly check, like all trails, Google Maps, and get a sense exactly where you are and where this leads to. I'll look it up and add it to this, but you definitely have a defined trail right here. This little boulder section's obviously kind of your trailhead, and then as you can see straight ahead, it looks like a trail. So this is cool. You do have a trail here on the edge of Fernview Group Campground. So if you're a little stir crazy and you want to go on a hike, get some exercise, you got a trailhead right here from your campground. So I like it. I dig it. That's the end of Fernview Campground. Okay, so I just walked all 11 sites at Fernview Group Campground. Give you a sense what you get if you book this. Bookable at recreation.gov, $200. You get all 11 sites. It's divided as 11 individual sites, but you get all of them. So they say capacity 75 people. Kind of a cool play if you got a big group, Boy Scouts, church, family reunion, big group of friends. You basically get to take over the entire campground, control the campground. You don't have to worry about annoying neighbors with loud music type situation, because you are the campground. You control the whole thing. So I do like this concept, this group concept. I think it can be a fun play. I think this is a really high quality group campground. So all in all, I'm leaving impressed, thinking that they kind of built something special here. So personally, I would highly recommend Fernview Group Campground.